Cut to Jack as he pulls up to the front gate of W.C. Johnson Studios. He shows Lila's card to the security guard. The guard points to a building in the distance, and the gate rises to let Jack's car pass. Now we cut to Jack sitting in Lila's office, clutching the scroll. The office is littered with film paraphernalia on the walls and on the impressive desk. A long conference table dominates the space. Lila enters.
Jack, I'm so glad you could come. Let's talk about this project that you have such high hopes for. If it's as hot as you say, I'll be very interested in pursuing it with you.
She pulls up a chair close to his, invading his personal space.
It all centers around this scroll. Are you familiar with Aristotle's Poetics?
Of course.
Well, I've done some research and have come to believe that this scroll is its companion book, the long-lost book of comedy.
Fascinating. Tell me, what makes you believe this is authentic?
Well, I had an independent expert examine it. She is convinced it's genuine.
If that's the case, this could be an incredible find. Would you mind if I have someone check it out?
Well, no offense, Miss Dement, but...
Please, Lila.
Lila, I've been told to keep close tabs on this. I'd rather not let it out of my sight.
Very prudent, Jack. I'd expect nothing less from such an intelligent and gifted man as yourself. Not to worry. I have someone in my office who can look at it while we wait.
She goes to her desk phone and makes a call.
Doctor, would you come in here?
You have people on staff who are qualified to inspect ancient documents?
This is a special case. Why don't you lay it out on this table?
She indicates the conference table. He puts the scroll down and spreads out a couple of the pieces. Adrian, a distinguished-looking middle-aged man with a goatee and thick glasses, enters.
Doctor, this man says he's found Aristotle's lost book of comedy. Would you check it out?
Certainly, Miss Dement. He pores over the scroll. Meanwhile, Lila puts her arm around Jack's waist and takes him aside. As she speaks, her lips are very close to Jack's face. He begins to tremble and perspire slightly.
You realize, of course, Jack, that if this turns out to be genuine, you and I will need to spend a lot of time together developing the concept. I'll rely on you completely to be the creative force behind it. It may require some long nights, but don't worry. I'll be right by your side the whole time. Will that be all right with you?
I think I can live with that.
I'm sorry, Ms. Dement. It's another fraud.
Thank you for your assistance, Doctor.
As Adrian leaves, Lila goes behind her desk, sits down, and shuffles some papers.
I have no further need of your services, Jack. I'm sure you can find your way out.
What? But how can that be? I had someone look at it. It has to be.
Don't be so surprised. We get these false alarms all the time. People find old papers in Grandma's attic and swear they found the holy grail of comedy. If it's any consolation, yours is better than most. Make sure you take that thing with you. Goodbye.
But what about new projects? Working together? I have some other ideas.
Where would I be if I ever devoted time to every wannabe screenwriter who comes along?
But...
Welcome to Hollywood. Ta-ta.
Jack stands frozen as Lila returns to her work. He gathers the scroll and his pride and shuffles out of the office. We cut to Allie's office, who sits at her desk working. There's a knock on her door.
Come in.
Jack drags himself in and tosses the scroll on her desk.
Need any sandwiches wrapped?
Allie comes around from behind the desk.
What's wrong, Jack?
It's a fake.
What? Wait a minute. What? Back up. Did you go see that producer after you left my place this morning?
Yup.
And?
She blew me off. She had some guy look at it. He said it was a fake. She said they get fake comedics on a regular basis.
That sounds pretty far-fetched. Maybe we should go back to Dr. Clamleg and see what she thinks. She might...
Wait a second. That thing was never out of my sight until I left it with you.
What are you implying?
All I know is that thing was supposedly real yesterday, and now it's fake. What happened at your house last night?
I don't appreciate the accusation you're making.
And I don't appreciate being made a fool of. Are you and Clamleg in cahoots?
Cahoots? Cahoots? Oh, that's great dialogue, Jack. Get out. Just get out of my office and my life. I don't ever want to see your face again.
What am I doing? I'm sorry, Allie. I didn't mean it. That stupid scroll is making me crazy. Ever since... I wish I'd never laid eyes on it. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I guess we both need some fresh air.
Yeah, I could use a break.
They leave. Outside on the campus, they amble along.
So, what are you going to do now?
Nothing. I've had it. This has put me over the edge. I've been kidding myself. I'm no writer. It's time to admit it and get on with my life. Get a real job.
I can't believe I'm even saying this. But I think you should push on.
But you always told me I was...
I know, but I used to say that. But when we talked last night, you made me realize how important this is to you. If you simply throw in the towel, you'll be giving up more than a dream. You'll be giving up part of what makes you, you.
At this point, that doesn't sound like a bad thing.
Snap out of it, Jack. Self-pity doesn't become you.
But I had invested myself completely in that scroll. It was my golden ticket. Now I've got nothing. I don't have the emotional energy to start all over.
Forget the scroll, Jack. It was nothing more than a symbol. Just because it wasn't a Wait a second.
She dashes back into the building and he follows. Inside, Allie makes a beeline for the scroll.
During the short time I had this last night, I examined it further. I became even more convinced of its authenticity.
After a single glance at one of the pages, she looks up at Jack.
Jack, this is not the scroll you left with me last night. It must have been switched.
How do you know?
If the other one was a fake, it was a good one. Whoever made this thing didn't even try to make it look real.
She holds a piece of scroll up for Jack to examine.
Look, some of the writing is mere scribbling, not even real characters at all. They didn't care if you discovered it was replaced.
But how can that be? It never left my sight.
Never? You never took your eyes off of it while it was being inspected.
No. Well, there were those few minutes when Lila was, distracting me, but I...
Yeah, How did Lila distract you?
Well, she was,
Oh,
talking
forget it.
to me.
Forget it, Jack. If you and I were ever still you and I, you'd have some explaining to do. As it happens, you have to find out what happened.
I can't believe I let her... The guy must have had the fake one ready to switch before I got there.
Which means she already knew you had it.
And what it looked like. How could she have known all that unless... Duffy.
No, you're losing it again. Duffy is your oldest friend in the world.
But...
Besides, he's not even remotely clever enough to pull off something that sophisticated. The only person with the knowledge is...
Clamleg.
They run out. Cut to Jack and Allie knocking at Clamley's door. Nothing. Allie tried the doorknob and the door swings freely open. The room has been cleaned out, books and papers gone. Jack and Allie exchange knowing looks. Jack goes to the phone on Clamley's desk and picks it up. He pulls Lila's card from his pocket and calls.
Hello? Can I speak to Lila Dement, please?
In Lila's office, Blaine is on the phone. His face is bruised and cut.
I'm sorry, but Miss Dement is in meetings all day today. This is Blaine Pratt, Miss Dement's personal assistant. Can I help you with something?
I seriously doubt it. It's all making sense now.
What?
I recognize that voice.
Who was it?
He used to work at Chick-fil-A.
What?
I'll explain later. For now, I have to find a way to get that scroll back. I'm not giving up without a fight. Can you come to my place tonight? To help me work this out. Honest, I'll have Duffy come too.
Oh, perfect chaperone. I suppose I can make it.
He rushes out. Cut to Duffy and Allie sitting in Jack's apartment. Jack paces. Each holds a printout of a spreadsheet.
Well, what do you guys think?
I think you're the most anal cat burglar I've ever seen.
He's right. You've got this broken down to the second. What if things don't go exactly according to your plan?
Yeah, like, what if they move the scroll?
I'm willing to bet that they haven't, but even if it isn't, it's still in her office. We should be able to get some other clues to its whereabouts.
Hey, what does...
Duffy, why are you yelling?
Oh, was I?
Yeah.
Sorry. That always happens after a long day of work.
What does this have to do with that?
While I wait for an acting gig, I record audiobooks to make ends meet.
Yeah, I still don't get it.
I specialize in large print books.
You were going to say something, Duff? At normal volume?
Yeah. What does the word self-explanatory mean?
Well, it's kind of forget it.
I hate to ask a dumb question, but what the heck? I'm good at it. Why don't we call the police?
Well, first of all, we aren't 100% sure that Lila has it. Second, the ownership is questionable anyway, given how I obtained it. I'd rather not get them involved yet.
Okay, then. What now?
Are you both in?
I must be crazy, but I'll help. I'm only doing this for the sake of archaeology, Jack. Don't read anything into it.
I understand. Duffy?
Yes, Jack. For the sake of what we have together.
I'm touched. Now let's start finalizing plans. The tour starts at 10 o'clock a.m. I'll pick you guys up at...
Oh, hold on. You can't take your car. You've been there before. They could be on the lookout for it.
You're right. Allie?
Oh, sorry. Mine's in the shop.
I'll be happy to drive.
Oh, no.
We could rent.
Oh, come on, Jack. Why don't we take mine?
I hate that car. I don't know how you can drive it.
Jack, it's our only option. I hate it too, but at least... Ouch!
Oh, what is it?
It's...
Oh, that's a relaxation CD. Want to borrow it? I recommend throwing it sidearm. It's more calming that way.
Wait a minute. Was that a joke, Jack? Were you being funny?
Oh, I think I was.
That scroll is magic. Let's get it back.
They all break into a spurt of that frantic activity. Cut to the crew in Duffy's car. Jack's in the passenger seat, Allie in the back, Duffy drives. Jack sports a wig, a fake beard, and a conspicuous hat. Allie wears a bad wig, heavy makeup, and loud clothing. The reason for Jack's reluctance to ride in Duffy's car is now obvious. The windshield is almost completely obscured by everything. On the dashboard, there's a satellite radio receiver, a St. Christopher statue, a travel coffee mug, a hula girl doll, a cell phone cradle, and a couple of baseball caps. Hanging from the extra-wide rear-view mirror are several bead necklaces, 3 air fresheners, a plethora of parking passes, a few flags, a tassel, a dream catcher, and a crystal that refracts rainbow colors through the car. Attached to the windshield are an Easy Pass transponder, a radar detector, a notepad and a pen, several service reminder stickers, and a couple more parking passes. Both visors are down, overburdened with a few dozen CDs each. And larger than everything is a massive GPS display in the middle of the dashboard. Given how much window area is covered, the lighting in the car is dim.
What are you thinking with all this junk? Can't you get rid of some of it?
I need it all.
What about the GPS? Why don't you get one with a smaller display?
Don't talk about Consuela that way.
Consuela?
A sultry Hispanic female voice comes from the GPS.
Turn right in 500 feet.
Isn't she great? She's ruined me for all other women. She's friendly, helpful, always there for me, never criticizes me. Oh, and that voice.
Turn right here, por favor.
Polite. She has a tendency to nag, but only when I deserve it.
I would really worry about you if I cared, Duffy.
Well, she better be good at directions because you can't see where you're going.
Your destination is 1,000 feet on
Thank you,
the left.
Consuelo.
The car arrives at W.C. Johnson Studios.
You have reached your final destination.
The guard waves them to a stop and leans into the car.
We're here for the 10 o'clock tour.
The guard checks names on a clipboard that he holds.
You're the last ones to arrive. You must be Lucy, Ricky, and Fred.
Yep, that's us.
What? Ethel couldn't make it?
Ethel? Oh, yeah, that's funny. I hadn't noticed.
Now, can you tell us where to go? I've never been here before in my entire life.
You can park in the visitor's lot over there to the left. The guide will meet you under the awning.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, buddy, do you know why an elephant drinks?
Drive, Duff. Fred.
Cut to the car parked in the studio lot.
I don't see why I have to wear this stupid disguise. These people don't know me.
No, but they may have seen you when I went to your place. Besides, I'd bet anything that Clamleg is in on this. She'd recognize you for sure.
Whatever. Let's get on with it before I come to my senses.
How come I'm the guy who has to wait in the car? I'd love to tour the studio. I might get discovered.
The whole point is not to get discovered.
Oh, yeah.
He reaches behind him and pulls out a large paper sack.
I'll have a snack and keep Consuelo company.
He pushes a button on the GPS.
Hola, Duffy.
Do whatever you want, but don't forget to make that call.
Under control, dude.
It's go time.
Oh, spare me.
They get out of the car and look around.
They're gathering already. Let's mingle. Be stealthy.
Oh, yeah. This outfit will help.
They amble over to a crowd of people milling about. A bubbly guide, Bonnie, bounces to the fore and takes control.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Bonnie. I'll be your guide here at W.C. Johnson Film Studios today. On today's tour, we'll be visiting the locations where many of your favorite movies and television shows are filmed. Stay together. We're walking.
They march off as a group. Cut to Lila's office where she, Clamley, and Blaine hover over the conference table. Several pages from the scroll are laid out.
Now, you're absolutely certain that this is authentic.
I would not have left my university position behind if I harbored any doubts.
Let's hope you don't regret that move.
Right. The paper, the ink, the characters, they're all typical of the Aristotelian era. For the content is the final question.
Then let's not waste any more time talking about it. I spent a lot of time and effort acquiring this. Not the least of which was overcoming the multiple failures of my assistant. I want a generous return on my investment.
I will do my utmost, but I cannot guarantee what the scroll has to offer you from a cinematic perspective.
I'll deal with the movie angle. Just translate.
Excuse me?
Please.
Back on the tour, the group shuffles along as one.
We're passing the brains of the studios. In this building are the offices of the executives in charge of all creative efforts that go on here.
A man walks by. Although the goatee and glasses are gone, it's clearly the doctor who inspected the scroll in Lila's office. He storms into the building on a mission. In her excitement, Bonnie loses her composure.
Look, there's Adrian Montrose, star of the long-running series Who's On First. He's walking into the executive office building. Perhaps the next blockbuster is being planned at this very moment. We're walking again.
Jack grabs Allie and pulls her behind a corner of the building.
Yeah, they're planning a blockbuster, all right. My blockbuster. That's the supposed expert that inspected the scroll. Time for Duffy to activate phase 2 of my plan.
He takes out his phone and sends a text. Back in the guard booth, the guard is speaking on a phone.
He said that he planted a bomb somewhere on the grounds to protest the studio's failure to use Hispanic technology. I know it sounds bizarre, but the guy was yelling really loud, like he was crazy or something. Okay, I'll call it in.
Duffy sits in his car. He holds an apple core.
Even if we don't get that scroll, maybe we can get you a movie role, Consuela.
He drops the apple out of his window. Cut to Adrian in Lila's office with Lila, Clamley, and Blaine. You told me there would be a movie role for me. I did my part. You have the scroll. Now what?
Patience, Adrian. We'll have something for you, but first, we have to figure this thing out.
Yeah, I've heard that before. It's bad enough you're canceling the show. Now you're stringing me along. Look, I'm overextended financially. I need something fast.
Every minute we spend listening to you whine keeps us from making progress on this. Now let's get on with it.
The guard interrupts.
Ms. Dement, I'm afraid you all have to evacuate the building. We've had a bomb threat.
Are we ever going to get anywhere on this? Look, it's probably a false alarm. We'll stay here and keep on...
I'm sorry, Ms. Dement. If it was up to me, I'd say okay, but fire and police will be here any second. You have to leave.
Do you want me to hide the scroll while we're gone?
He slides a previously unseen hidden compartment open in the conference table.
No, we're not letting that thing out of our sight. Hold on to it yourself and guard it as if your life depends on it. It might.
Let's go. This shouldn't take long.
The group leaves, Blaine clutching the scroll to his chest. Outside the office, the guard leads the group out. Behind them, a closet noiselessly opens a crack. Once the group is out of sight, Jack and Allie emerge from the closet.
Darn, they took the scroll with them. I hadn't considered that possibility. What do we do now?
Go home.
No, let's check in with Duffy.
Jack and Allie leave and run across the lot. Dozens of people stream out of the buildings and stand around in the parking lot. Sirens are heard. Jack points to where Lila huddles with the others from her office.
No, there they are. Let's make a plan B.
They run to Duffy's car. Jack gets in front, Allie in back. Duffy is polishing off a banana now.
Forget something?
They have it with them.
Where?
Right over there.
They don't look so tough.
No, that's not the point. We have to get close enough to grab it, but we can't let them know it's us or
Too much talk.
Duffy starts up the car and drives.
What are you doing?
Duffy continues to drive slowly and carefully among the crowd of people.
Duffy.
He stops the car and jumps out, leaving the engine running.
Don't.
Too late, Duffy's gone. He walks up to Blaine.
Hey, Chick-fil-A guy, translate this.
Duffy plants a right on Blaine's jaw and grabs the scroll as Blaine crumples to the ground. Duffy charges back to the car. The others in the group are stunned. Lila gives Blaine's prone but conscious body a swift kick.
Get after him, you dolt!
Blaine leaps to his feet unsteadily, takes one step slightly sideways, and falls over. He manages to get upright and stumble after Duffy. Lila and Clamley follow. Meanwhile, Duffy is already back in the car. He casually tosses the scroll to Jack.
Oh, then there's the direct approach.
Duffy leaves the scene, tires squealing. He tosses his banana peel out the window.
We're way ahead of you, amigo.
Straight ahead to the exit.
Meanwhile, Blaine tries to run after the car. He slips on the banana peel and falls. He sits up, holding the banana peel.
That actually works?
Lila rushes up to him.
Get after them!
Blaine gets up to go. Duffy drives his car through the exit with no particular urgency. As Duffy reaches the street, Blaine comes running behind. Lila calls to him.
You won't catch him on foot, idiot! Get a car!
Right.
Duffy's car slowly recedes in the distance. Blaine goes to the middle of the street and stops the first car he sees, a large black vehicle. He runs around to the driver's side door, opens it, pulls the formally dressed stunned driver out, and hops in. Blaine, looking possessed and fully concentrating on his target, peels off in the direction of Duffy's car. Unfortunately, Blaine has hijacked a hearse leading a funeral procession. As it speeds up to catch Duffy, one after another car, first a series of black limos, then other random vehicles, all with lights on and funeral flags waving, speed up to keep up with him. Lila, Clamley, and Adrian stand on the side of the road, watching as dozens of cars in the funeral procession speed by.
Get
Lila,
a car. We shouldn't have any problem tracking this parade.
I'm not joining that line. I've done my bit. Lila turns her wrath on Clamley.
We'll take your car. We have one card yet to play.
Clamley bolts off obediently. Meanwhile, in Duffy's car, driving along, Duffy looks confident and relaxed. Jack and Allie look neither.
I'll ask Consuela to take us home.
As he punches instructions into the GPS, there's a crash, and the car jerks forward. Several objects are dislodged from the windshield and dashboard and rain down on Jack and Duffy. Allie looks out the back window and grimaces. Right behind him in the hearse, Blaine smirks and cackles viciously.
Make a fool of me, will you, wise guy?
Duffy's car leads a convoy of dozens of bumper-to-bumper cars traveling at about 40 miles an hour.
Next great idea, Duff.
Oh, yeah. I've always wanted to try this feature, but never thought I'd have the chance.
He punches a few commands into the GPS. The last menu item he selects reads, Random Chase.
Did that say what I thought it was?
Fasten your seatbelts, muchachos. Andale.
The car heaves forward and everyone is thrown back. More stuff from the dashboard lands in Jack's and Duffy's laps. Duffy's car opens up a lead on the hearse, but Blaine soon closes the gap. Duffy's car takes a sharp left, then right. The entire funeral procession keeps pace. Duffy is having a great time. Jack and Allie cling fearfully to their seats.
I don't know about you guys, but being chased by a hearse gives me the heebie-jeebies big time.
Left in 1,007 feet. Right in 26 feet. Bad right in 222 feet. Bang a Yui now.
Duffy's car does a 180-degree turn in the middle of the road. The hearse does the same. All the cars in the procession follow. A few at the tail end spin out of the line. Duffy obeys Consuela's every whim. Jack's and Allie's bodies flail helplessly in response to the car's movements.
You are approaching a line of parking meters. Slalom through them.
Yeehaw!
Duffy's car and the entire funeral procession weave through the row of meters. Several meters are lost in the process, as are several more cars in the procession.
Have you eluded your pursuers?
No!
Then let's try harder, see?
No!
Yes!
At this, Duffy hits the C button. Duffy's car continues its wild ride, over and under bridges, on and off the freeway, on and off the roadway. Each maneuver loses more cars from the procession, but the hearse stays close. On one particularly difficult turn, Duffy's car goes up on two wheels before righting itself. In the process, however, Duffy loses control. The car skids sideways and crashes into a tree. The hearse's momentum carries it past Duffy's car. Another series of crashes is heard as the remaining funeral cars fly past. Inside Duffy's car, everyone is stunned. The car is strewn with Duffy's collection of windshield pollutants.
Dial 411! Dial 411!
Duffy, that's information.
Yeah, I want to know just what happened.
Is everyone okay?
I have reached my final destination.
Oh, Consuela, don't leave me directionless.
The GPS goes dark.
Oh, Consuela. Oh.
Allie?
I've been better.
But are you injured?
No, I'm fine.
Where's the scroll?
I have it.
We better get out of here. I doubt they're going to give up on us now.
They struggle to get out of the car and see that Duffy's car is totaled. In the background, black limos and other cars are piled up with smoke coming from the heap. Jack, Duffy, and Allie run off, but they don't get far before they run right into Lila and Clamley.
How did you find us?
It wasn't all that hard, Jack. You left a trail of crumbs.
Blaine hobbles up, injured and out of breath.
I got him, Lila, I got him.
Wonderful. Remind me to reward you accordingly. Now, I believe you have something that belongs to me.
Something you stole, you mean?
It's all a matter of perspective, miss. Can you honestly say it belongs to Jack? This object belongs to everyone. It belongs to posterity.
Oh, you're such a philanthropist. Let's go donate it to a museum right now.
All in good time. I need to do some work with it first. Now hand it over.
Let me sum up our position on this issue. No.
Blaine lunges for Duffy.
Why, you dirty...
Please, Blaine. Violence, like you, accomplishes nothing. Now allow us to state our position.
She gestures to Clamley, who steps up and holds out a folder filled with papers as she speaks to Allie.
Unless you immediately relinquish that scroll, I will be forced to turn these pages over to the university officials. They detail your entanglement to illegally appropriate a valuable historical artifact for personal profit.
Those are lies. You
She
don't
didn't
know
steal anything.
wrong.
You and I might know that. But these photos and eyewitness testimonies, well, they tell quite a different story.
All that matters is, will your superiors believe it? What would you say the chances are that our young friend here will ever find a position in her field with this information in her file?
I most certainly would not consent to her being a member of my staff.
It's not my decision to make. The scroll belongs to Jack.
She hands the scroll to an astonished Jack.
Allie, are you sure? Give those papers to Allie first.
Lila silently urges Clamley to do as he says. Clamley hands the folder to Allie. Jack hands the scroll to Lila.
Mine! I did it!
You had some assistance, dear.
Quiet.
I knew it. You're ashamed of me. After raising you and putting you through school, my own daughter wants nothing to do with me?
Daughter? She's your mother?
What? You're a clam leg too? I should have noticed the resemblance right away.
I was adopted.
There you go again.
Let's get out of here.
It's always been this way with you.
Don't start with me, Mother.
They leave bickering.
No, go scroll yourself, Clam Leg Jr. So that's it, huh?
Looks like it.
Why, Jack?
No, I had no right to deprive you of your career for my crazy dream.
That was the sweetest thing anyone has ever done for me.
She kisses him on the cheek.
So what do we do now?
There's nothing to do. It's over.
Man, don't you hate it when life throws you curveballs?
I don't mind curveballs. It's the beanballs I can't stand.
They all walk off together. Cut to Jack, Allie, and Duffy in a bar, hanging over their drinks. Jack looks blank. Allie looks at Jack. Duffy looks desolate.
So close. I was that close.
No one has ever sacrificed so much for me.
Consuela.
Back to the beginning. The drawing board, the Stone Age, square one.
I'm sure something will turn up, Jack. I'll do whatever I can to help you, too.
Consuela.
Oh, get over it, Duffy. It was just a machine.
Women, you don't understand the relationship between a man and his electronics.
I don't know. I don't think I can go through this again. The disappointment, the stress,
The grinders.
especially the grinders.
Seriously, what do you think you'll do next?
Order 2 more of these.
Here, here.
I'm thinking a little bit longer term.
Jack gives her a hug.
First of all, I'm going to appreciate what did come out of this.
See, it wasn't a total loss. Out of failure can come small victories.
Big ones in this case.
Well, at the very least, we'll have a great story to tell our children.
Jack is flustered.
Our children. It'll make a great story.
Jack? Jack? Are you okay? Duffy, what's wrong with Jack?
I've seen that look before. We're about to get hit with something big. You may want to duck.
Jack looks at Allie and gives her a kiss.
Allie, you're a genius. No wonder I love you.
Thanks, Jack, but
Come on.
He leaps up, pulling Allie along. They leave. Duffy remains. After a few seconds, Jack re-enters and grabs Duffy.
Come on, Mr. Lonely Circuits. This involves you too.
He yanks Duffy out, leaving half-empty glasses on the table. Cut back to Lila's office, where she paces nervously. Blaine and Adrian wait.
Where is it? She said she'd be done long before now.
Do you want me to check up on her? Maybe she died laughing while translating it.
Hey, that's my mother you're talking about. Still,
The office door opens. Clamley walks in with the scroll, some other papers, and a bemused expression.
well, what did you find? Is it real? Is it funny?
I'm not an authority on humor. Greek culture is my specialty. However, I can tell you this. The scroll is genuine. Aristotle's original book of comedy from the master's library itself.
But can it be used to make successful comic movies?
Neither do I possess expertise in the cinematic arts. Nonetheless, I have no doubt, based on precedent, that the secrets divulged in this volume are capable of being used as the basis for many very successful projects.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. Yes, all right.
Hollywood, we have a problem.
Problem? What problem?
Take a look at some of what I found.
Clamley unrolls some of the papers on the conference table.
Here we read that the pure essence of comedy, as Aristotle defines it, involves mostly being struck on the head, on the skull, with blunt instruments, launching dessert items at people's faces, and poking men in the eyes with two primary digits.
It says what?
It not only says it, but there are illustrations to emphasize the points. I think you'll find them very enlightening.
There are indeed drawings of each of the described actions, complete with arrows and other notations to show exactly how to execute them. The three characters in the illustrations look strangely familiar. One has a large bush of curly hair, another is bald and obese, and the last has a bowl haircut and a stern expression. Are those?
I'm afraid so. And I haven't even mentioned the references to heads being squeezed in vices, or the phrases, slowly I turn, and I resemble that remark. They're all in here. There's also...
Stop! This can't be. After all my work, all those
Does
years.
it show Curly going, whoa, 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 whoa?
Shut up. I don't believe it. You must have gotten something wrong.
Clamley throws her other papers onto the table.
I had the same reservation, so I did further research. I've uncovered this evidence that indicates that Mo Howard was an avid Grecophile and extensively studied the works of Aristotle as well as Plato and Socrates. Somehow, somewhere, he must have gotten access to the principles in this book.
Mo?
And I suppose Curly sang opera.
This is ridiculous. There has to be some other explanation.
That doesn't alter the fact that the humor described here replicates exactly what the Three Stooges were doing many decades ago.
So what you're saying is that this thing is useless.
For your purposes, I would have to say that that is the case.
In disgust, Lila rolls the papers up and tosses them in the trash.
But they're still valuable.
I
as
can't
The
believe.
guard opens the door and peeks in.
Ms. Dement, there are a couple of policemen here to see you and Mr. Pratt.
Please? I can't see anyone now. Send him away.
The door opens fully and two policemen, Detective Dannon and another, push past the guard.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. I have a criminal complaint and a warrant for the arrest of Mr. Blaine Pratt.
Me? What?
We had a report of a hijacked hearse, and you were identified as the perpetrator. That hearse was involved in a high-speed chase that resulted in hundreds of thousands of dollars in property damage. Someone is going to...
It was all of them. I was only following orders. I didn't...
Shut up, Blaine.
Well, this is more complicated than we thought. What about you? What's your part in all this?
A mere cameo. The innocent, yet amused bystander.
Okay, everyone settle down. Maybe you three ought to come along so we can straighten this all out at the station. We may want to talk to you later.
No problem, officer. You can find me every Tuesday night at 9, at least till the end of the season.
All right, everyone else, let's go. We'll get to the bottom of this mess eventually.
Clamley tries to retrieve the scroll from the trash basket, but Dannon prevents her.
Let's go.
He glances at her name tag.
Ms. Clamley?
Clamley! Clam Lee. Don't you people know anything? Clams don't have legs. Why, I would just
With much stalling and complaining, the group eventually leaves the office. Left alone, Adrian pulls the scroll out of the trash barrel and exits. We cut to another high-powered Hollywood producer's office. Stan Abbott sits back in a huge leather chair at a desk the size of the flight deck of an aircraft carrier. The luxurious office is filled with movie mementos. 4 other people are in the office: Jack, Allie, Duffy, and a generic suck-up, Bill Brown. Stan sits regally as if presiding over Parliament. His gaze sweeps across the 3.
Which of you is writing this?
We all are, sir. We plan to collaborate.
And do you have any elements attached to this project?
Oh, Duffy Hood here is an established and gifted comic actor.
But we do have several excellent leads on some A-list people. Stan, there's a lot of buzz on this deal.
That's so.
Absolutely. We see big things coming out of this.
Bill has good radar for comedy. Besides, he knows he'll be out on the street if he steers me wrong. Can I ask who your agent is?
I don't have an agent yet, Mr. Abbott.
Well, you shouldn't have any problem finding one, young man, because I'm going to fast track this baby as of right now. I love what you're pitching. Congratulations, by the way. Whatever happened to that scroll?
Cut to a live broadcast of Antiques Roadshow. Crowds meander around the studio carrying various objects of questionable value. Adrian sits at a table wearing the glasses and goatee that he used when he inspected it. A pompous appraiser with a bow tie faces Adrian across a table where the scroll is displayed.
Tell me, Dr. Smith, how did you acquire this fascinating object?
It was at a yard sale in Encino. Yeah, it caught my eye because it was unique.
You're right on that count. This is highly unique. In fact, it is one of the most unusual pieces I've seen in all my years of appraisal. Do you see this string of characters?
Yeah.
That is the name Aristotle in Greek.
Aristotle, you say?
That's right. I'd estimate that these papers, in the form of a scroll, date back to the days of Aristotle. In fact, there is evidence here to support the possibility that they are the property of Aristotle himself.
Well, that's really amazing.
Because of their historic significance, these could easily find a home in any museum of antiquities.
That's great. That's great. I wonder. Not that I would ever consider selling them, but mind you, just out of curiosity, about what would someone expect to get if, hypothetically, of course, he were to attempt to put these things up for sale?
A fair question. There isn't much precedent for a find of this magnitude, so I can only give you a broad estimate based on my experience. I'd have to say that a scroll that belonged to Aristotle would have to attract bids in the range of $5 to $10 million.
Yes! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
That would only be for a mint condition object, however.
Say what?
There are some flaws in this piece. Here and here, there are stains that, if I were to hazard a guess, were recently made by some sort of food products. A bean-based soup, perhaps, and some condiments.
Yeah,
So that diminishes the value significantly.
How diminished are we talking here?
I can't imagine any serious collector offering more than $500 or $600.
No, that can't be.
There's There's no point getting upset, Dr. Smith. You still stand to make a profit.
You can't do this to me! You can't do it! I've worked too hard! I need that money, you snooty windbag, you!
Security is security.
Cut to a function room at Stan's studio. A party is underway. Everyone involved in the film is present. Celebration and congratulations are the order of the day. High fives and handshakes abound. Theo, Yaya, and Thea weave through the crowd serving appetizers, baklava, and other delicacies. Tables overflowing with food border the space. Snippets of individual conversations are picked up here and there in the crowd.
Now, we're talking to Hasbro now. They're very interested in Aristotle action figure.
My friend, you try this soup. You love it. Father Demetrius, still in priestly attire, confronts Jack. I confess some disappointment in the choice of the actor who portrayed me. Was Brad Pitt not available? Yaya, with a plate of chicken wings, sidles up to Duffy.
It's safe. I check. No hot peppers and wings.
Bill huddles with Jack.
Jack, buddy, have you thought about a sequel? We're thinking this time the protagonist gets a meal at a Chinese restaurant and finds a lost book by Confucius being used to make takeout cartons. It turns out to be assembly instructions for a futon.
Interesting. Maybe you should work with my agent on that one.
Theo corners Stan. You look at my pizza pans next. Some very, very old, and then maybe you make another movie.
I don't know about that, but this is the best soup I've ever had. Would you consider multi-picture catering deal?
You talk to my agent, my friend. Bill leans over a nervous Thea as she tries to distribute hors d'oeuvres.
You have very expressive eyes and a lovely smile. Call me.
Bill hands her a card. Allie and Jack stand aside, satisfied with all that's going on around them.
Well, you pulled it off. Are you happy now?
You mean we pulled it off. And yes, I'm happy. But not as happy as I'll be in 3 weeks.
Allie wears a conspicuous diamond ring. Duffy saunters up to them, a wide grin spread across his face.
Somebody's having a good time.
We have lots to celebrate.
You're looking pretty upbeat yourself, my man.
And why shouldn't I? I just finished my first big movie role. I have more offers on deck, and I'm in a new relationship.
Oh, that is big news. Congratulations. When do we get to meet the lucky woman?
Right now.
God.
Oh, don't go. No, you'd like her.
I thought after the GPS incident, you might go with a human this time.
I would, Jack, honest. I have nothing against women, but they can't keep up with technology. Take Inga here now.
Inga?
What can I do for you, Duffy?
Isn't she hot?
It's a smartphone, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I know. This is cutting edge. It's an intimate phone.
Oh, I think I'm gonna hurl.
No, Jack, look here. She's a phone, she's a web browser, an MP3 player, a camera, an ebook, and of course, a GPS.
The baklava is 15 feet to your right.
Is she great or what?
I'll go with what?
Duffy, can you put me away now?
No, get a room.
Oh, Jack, you gotta let me tell. My joke now.
Okay. I owe you at least that much. Why does an elephant drink?
Oh, I forgot.
Now that is funny.
Duffy wanders off in despondency. Jack stands alone, looks around the room with an air of complete satisfaction.
And that's how this movie came to be. No kidding.
The end. Roll credits fade out.